the issue of a season. I put it in front of you. You must get asked this all the time. I get asked this all the time. What do you think about a 2020 season? And my response is the same, that the virus will have the last say, but everything that I know and hear is that the NFL has every intention of playing. What do you hear, Ian?
Yeah, the same. And I will say this, Rich. It's incredible the amount of really good, smart, successful coaches, agents, high up executives who will call and ask, are we going to have a season? It's, usually I would say like, ask your owner or something, but nobody actually knows. So it's been weird to hear like, very good football coaches call and be like, so what do you think? It's just been an odd dynamic because they don't call me and ask about play calling, but they do ask, is there going to be a season? And I get the same sense you do, that it is going to go on as scheduled with minimal fans to start, and then we'll see. I think the most important thing, really, of all the things that we've heard, the most important thing was Dr. Alan Sills, the NFL's chief medical officer, saying there are going to be positive tests. It is going to happen. Get used to it. It will happen. It will be a storyline. It will happen. And once you accept that there will be some positive tests, you can see how it would go on. Let's say just a lot, let's say you have 2 a week per team. Let's just say. That seems like a lot, but let's just say that's the case. So that's, more than 60 per week. Okay, well, that's basically like 2 players being injured for a week or 2, however long the quarantine is. They get better, they test negative, and then they move on. I mean, that's, I think, what the season is going to be like. And the protocols are so strict that if the players don't go out and don't put themselves in danger, it seems like it's going to be okay.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the issue is, though, is that, with an injury, normally like a sprained MCL suffered by a player doesn't threaten the life of the aging assistant coach that's still in the same mix. That's the obvious, difference between what we're supposing together here and what may actually happen with somebody testing positive for COVID. And I'm just wondering what the players are thinking based on what you're hearing. Malcolm Jenkins, who was hired by CNN to be a correspondent or at least an analyst, I guess is the better phrase here, was told CNN this morning, called football a non-essential business, so we don't need to do it. The risk has to be really eliminated before I would feel comfortable with going back. I've mentioned, I think, to you before, and I say to pretty much everybody who's an NFL person coming on here, like, thank goodness the Players Association and the NFL agreed to a 10-year collective bargaining agreement right before the pandemic, because it would be a totally different ball of wax, right? So your reaction means that you would agree with me. But what are you hearing from players right now that you talk to on this front?
I mean, just quickly, you bring this up. Like, I actually think about what would have happened had they not agreed.
Right. And,
a week later, the pandemic and the world shuts down. Like, would they have revoted? I
don't know.
You're right. I mean, thank everything that this actually happened, because 10 years of financial security is much, much better than not.
Well, you're seeing what baseball's going through with their CBA coming up at the end of the 2021 season. I mean, all the negotiations to just get back on the field this year was fraught with all the, lack of trust that any collective bargaining agreement conversation would have, even though their CBA doesn't, lapse until after next season. But now I'll let you answer the question. Are you hearing that players might be echoing what Malcolm told CNN today, that maybe when it comes down to it, they might not want to report?
I have heard probably not as much of that as I thought I might. I just don't. This is all sort of anecdotal, because obviously I can't talk to all the players, but I really get the sense that most of the guys are like, okay, it's not that bad. We're going to figure this out, which, we don't know. That's one of the problems, is we don't know how bad it is. It's like there's some people saying like, oh, well, players should get it now and then they won't have to worry about it during the season. We don't even know first of all, if everyone will 100% recover. We don't know if you can get it again. It's absolutely incredible the amount of things that we as a world just don't know. But I feel like most players are okay with taking the risk, not believing that is a big risk. And also, again, like the protocols are hardcore. I mean, it is intense. And I think that is really going to end up helping in the long run.
See, I guess the wait and see aspect of it, I honestly, I feel like sometimes I need a degree in public health to do the job that I'm doing right now in the same way I needed a legal labor degree back during the lockout. Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.